I'm joined this evening with a very distinguished member of Tullamore Golf Club, Eamon Buggy. Eamon, we might first of all reminisce about the great Dinny White. He will be celebrating it'll be the 50th anniversary of his famous East of Ireland win over Declan Brannigan up in Baltray back in 1976. And just, you know, what are your memories of the great Dinny White? You know, what kind of a man was he? His skills as a golfer, you know, what are your thoughts and memories of the great Dinny White?
My thoughts, I joined in 1968, and at that time Paul Burke was here. I didn't know them, and Brian Malone was here. He was an Irish international. But anyway, I got to know Dinny through his brother Billy, the late Billy White, and the late Mickey White. And his other brother Phil, thanks by God, still alive and living in Mayo. But I was introduced to Dinny, and I got into a 4-ball with him. And he was one of the loveliest men you could wish to see. And
what were your first impressions of him as a person, first of all?
Brilliant. He'd play with anyone. He'd always say, your money is as good as anyone else's. And then he started, I remember him winning the Scotch Cup here. I think he won 2 senior Scotch Cups at Tullamore. And then what happened then with Dinny was Sean Flanagan arrived on the scene, which is only over the road, and PJ Horn arrived on the scene. And I remember in the meantime we were playing a lot of golf with Dinny, and we started in 1970. Dinny got into the final of the Captain's Prize.
Wow.
And playing off +2. So in the final he met his brother Phil in the final. And
so you 2 brothers playing each other in the final?
In the final, in 1970.
Okay.
So Billy and the late Billy caddied for Dinny, you see. But anyway, I remember that time in the Captain's Prize, you always had to go into the bar and back yourself, a half-crown. Everyone had to back. It was all in the hat, all match play. But anyway, I came to the final and it was over 36 holes. And the thing that sticks out in my mind that was Dinny arrived in here and Phil was over there in the trees doing a bit of practice. It was raining. And Dinny was giving off that Phil was getting wet and everything else. So the next thing anyway, the match started and Phil was in receipt of 7 shots. 7 shots, yes. And there was a book on it. But going down now, as we call it, the 5th, which is the 10th that time, the old course, the garden was there. The garden was there. So Phil hit straight down, he was in receipt of the shot. But Dinny put the ball out of bounds. He put it into the garden. So he went 3 down, standing on the 6th hole. And there was a few lads wanted to get to the bookies to see what price would they get on Phil. But anyway, see what way how the match end after the first 18. So Dinny goes, Dinny had 6 trees in a row.
Wow.
He parred the 6th, which was a par 3 at the time. The 7th was a par 5, straight up, where the 8th green is now. And Dinny was on N2. Phil was short, and he chipped into about 5 foot. Dinny eagled the hole, and Phil had a 4-foot putt for birdie to pick it up. So Dinny parred the 9th, which is another 3, and Phil had a 2, didn't lose that hole. But Dinny proceeds to birdie the 10th over the trees, birdie the 11th. The 12th that time was a par 4 from the ditch back, and he birdied that.
Short
so
par
that was
4.
6 trees in a row, and half the 17th and half the 18th, so the match ended all flat. So Dinny proceeded anyway in the second 18 to win his first Captain's Prize on the 17th. He won it 2-1. So that was his first Captain's Prize, and
that was in 1970?
1970, yeah.
Oh, 2 years later, Golfing Union of Ireland inaugurated the Irish Mixed Foursomes.
2 years later,
it was the first year it was held.
Held.
And you
Yes.
and Dinny were both fortunate to represent Tullamore on the team.
That's right.
What are your memories of that occasion? It was a brand new competition.
Brand new, yeah, and
we've enjoyed success in it.
1972, Tom Kennedy's year, and I think it was Dr. Vaughan was over the team at the time. I think someone, but anyway, he picked the team, and sure we beat. I think we beat Burr in the first round, and we had to travel away then to play Headford, Kells, and we beat them. I was playing with Eileen Cronin, who was Northern Mercian, the woman. She was in the musical society at the time. Then he was playing with Mary Fogarty, unbeatable. Then we played some other club in Dublin, and then we played Malahide in the Leinster final. So we beat them, and then at that stage, there was only 3 provinces represented. Ulster didn't put in a team. But anyway, we proceeded, and we got a bye to the All-Ireland final against Athlone. And the All-Ireland final was in Burr. And Eddie Dunn was on that Athlone team, who was an current Irish international at the time. And it was 2-2, and then he came to the 18th with Mary Fogarty. And I remember, well, we parred the hole in Burr, base and green, and Eddie Dunn had a 6-foot putt to go down the 19th, and it rimmed out. We won the All-Ireland, and let's say Eddie wasn't a happy camper, but anyway, we won the All-Ireland, and the first All-Ireland. And
fantastic.
Yeah, and
so great celebrations that night, no doubt.
It was, yeah. And
my gosh,
Catherine Carty might tell you a great story about that too. But anyway. 7, yeah.
And then 4 years later, then he himself won the East of Ireland by a shot over Declan Brannigan.
Declan Brannigan in the East of Ireland, yeah, we're all there with him.
And what are your memories of that event, Eamon, please?
My memory of that event was I had I wasn't particularly well that day. I was suffering with a stomach pain, but anyway, I was beside Oliver Goff. That day, he was a member of Kilkenny. He played in All-Ireland hurling final with Kilkenny, Oliver Goff. But anyway, I was with him during the round, and we seen Dinny playing, and it was nerve-wracking actually, because I think Declan Brannigan was about to win in the West of Ireland, and but Dinny, and I'll never forget the thing is that on the 10th hole in Baltray, Declan Brannigan hit a super tee shot up the middle of the fairway. And Dinny would always say after, Dinny had a duck hook off the tee, and it went further than Brannigan's drive. So anyway, he'd always create about that. But he came to the 18th anyway, and he was a shot ahead. And I'll never forget, Brannigan was in the middle of the fairway, his second shot. Dinny was in trouble on the right-hand side in the rough. He was about 5 yards back from a little white thorn bush. I'll never forget. His brother Billy was caddy from the late Billy, and he whatever way Dinny went in, he took over 4 iron. We were delighted he took over 4 iron, knowing Dinny had taken a wood, but he took out the 4 iron to play, and he played a great second shot. He played it onto the green, a par 5, and he got down in 2 putts to win the East of Ireland, and that was, yeah, we all arrived home here in the club that night. 1976, John McInerney was the captain. And we all met him here, and he was let in, and we had a super night. Yeah.
My God, very good. And I think Dinny was also on the same year that Tullamore won the Barton Cup as well in Leinster.
Yeah, I always maintained that by winning the East of Ireland, it brought the club very much with that team together. John McInerney, as Leonard Dolan would tell you, that the Barton Cup was sacred. It was a religion. The Barton Cup was an unbelievable competition. We never won it. And the late John McInerney, the team was trying and practicing. And the thing about that year was, after Dinny winning the Barton, or the East of Ireland, we played Mount Rat in the semi-final. And Pat Hamill was involved in it, and we had to play 3 matches in Mount Rat and 2 here. Now, when we went over to Mount Rat, Dinny White would never accept actually playing any other than number 1.
Okay.
Right? And this was a team of Dinnies. He always had to play number one. And and he didn't fear anyone. That's one thing about him. But he was playing with the late Mickey Bryant. And so went out the gate, and had said to Dinny, would you like to change Dinny from number one to 2 or 3? Because there was 2 Carters over in Mount Rad. One of them was off 4, Jack and Cecil. So anyway, Dinny didn't open his mouth, and we're going in then to gate in Mount Rad Golf Club. And Pat Hamill turned around to Dinny and I said, Dinny, I'll tell you what, put me number 2. Right? So we had to win a match over there, and hopefully we win the 2 here. Yeah. So anyway, they all set out anyway, but when we were going down to the first tee, Cecil Carter turned around to Dinny and he said, Dinny, I didn't realise, Dinny, you'd be frightened of the 2 Carters. But anyway, Dinny went number 2, and Jack Carter went number 1 and Cecil went number 3, and they missed Dinny. And Dinny won his match on the 13th. I think Ferguson...
On the 13th?
On the 13th. Yeah. We won the 2 here.
Brilliant.
And then we beat Lucan in the final. That was home and away. We lost... I remember we had the Lucan match away first. Lucan... Yeah. But anyway, I remember Billy Galvin.
The great Billy Galvin,
The great Billy was away there and all, and Billy came home after practicing the course twice. And then he says to Billy, what way did you play? Oh, we played well. He says, Billy, will you win a match up there, Billy? Yeah, it's only a chicken run, you see? But anyway, the next thing, the match, we played them up there, and we lost 4-1. And we came in anyway, we're kind of down a bit, and then he turned around to Billy and he says, Billy, that's some chicken run, you see. And but anyway, we came down here then, and it was an unbelievable second leg of the final here. Because
so we're 4-1 down on the first leg.
Yes, and we came here, and Dinny won a match, and Dennis O'Connell. We won a match on the 18th, 19th and 20th to take it into a tie.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we proceeded, then had to go to the Leinster branch, fixed it for Headford, the playoff. And we beat Lucan in the playoff.
My gosh.
Yeah, and John McInerney, the late John, he brought home that Barton Cup, was a proud man. Yeah,
my God.
He was a proud man, yeah.
Right. A legend of a team and a legend of a man. And then in the 80s and the 90s, Dinny continued to play for Tullamore, and then eventually
he played Barton... Yeah, he played Barton Shield with Tullamore in 1967. Mm-hmm. And there was Tony Tynan, Brian Malone, and there was Dinny White and Burke, Paul Burke. That was the and they won out Leinster in 1967, and Limerick beat them in the All-Ireland semi-final by 1 hole.
Okay, there was like the guys of Vincent Nevin on that team,
Vincent
for example.
Nevin, and Limerick went on to win the All-Ireland.
Okay, and then, but we'll say after the East of Ireland then in the 80s, and I mean, Dinny won, I think, 16 club championships.
16, yes.
You know, which is
and
phenomenal. 5 captain's prizes.
5, and actually... the club championship was changed one year to match play to try what way he was in match play. He won that as well.
My gosh!
Yeah,
okay.
He won that as well.
So truly a legend of Tullamore Golf Club.
Oh yeah, he went on to. I remember the Junior Cup. He was with us in Rail County Down. He came up to us, and he was a great help. Great help to Sean.
That was in 1983.
83, yeah. He went on to Sean Larkin was there with, and Catch Flanagan as well, you know.
Okay.
But he was there with us.
Okay.
And,
so in later years, then he moved to Moat, and then sadly he passed then in 2013.
2013, yeah.
Yeah, but a great man.
A great man, yeah.
A great man.
I remember. It's a local competition, the Duggan Cup, which you have to be over 50s.
Yeah.
But I remember over here, we're after being beaten in the final of it in 2002. And 2003, Donna McArdle says to me, I was appointed manager of the team, and Donna says to me, Eamon, I said, Donna, it's going to be hard, you know. And out in the shop, And when I said it, Dinny drove in, you see, right? And Donna turned around to me and he said, there you are now. He says, you can build a team around Dinny. So I said, yeah. I said, right, okay. So Dinny came in and we had a cup of tea in the clubhouse. And I said to Dinny, would you play Dublin Cup? Of course I will. Then he get me a good partner, keep me on the fairway. So we got a partner, the late Pat Sullivan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the late great Pat Sullivan.
Yeah, and they never lost a match. And I remember...
And they won Dublin Cup then in 2003.
They won it, yeah.
They? My God. And would that have been one of his last
that was his last,
for Tullamore?
Yeah, Tullamore, yeah. But he went on to win he won an All-Ireland mix with Moat, with his wife.
Oh, I see.
Eileen,
Eileen, yeah.
Eileen, yeah.
Oh, I did, okay, very good. Wow.
Yeah, he went on to win, and but his heart was in Tullamore, always. And,
absolutely, and we commemorate him in the men's dressing room there with Shane Lowry and Stuart Grehan and himself.
And his father was a greenkeeper here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
His father was a greenkeeper here up the road, and there used to be caddy matches here. You know, there was caddy matches, but the story goes that the Senior Scratch Cup was here. And I can't think of the name. The man was from Warrenpine. He was at a win in Derry's Close.
Okay, it wasn't Rafferty, no?
No, it wasn't Rafferty. No, I can't think of his name now. But
Carville.
When you win Derry's Close, you're automatically number one in Derry's team.
All right, okay.
Right, because you're Derry's champion. But he arrived here of a Saturday evening from Warrenpine. No, he was from Warrenpine, and he asked. I can't think of the man's name now, but Ron Leddy. He asked Ron, it was Ronnie Caddies round the place, and Ron says, sure, I'll get you. He went over to one of the Fogartys, you see? So this is the story now, what happened in this, and everyone has a different version, but this is the real one now. Mm-hmm. Didn't he arrive anyway? Young Fogarty arrived over, and this man went down to the first tee of the old course, and the man says, nah, the young Fogarty. No, he says, this is the first hole, yes, there's no... no, he said, young lad. He said, Dinny's always up there in the middle of the first fairway, short of the road, you see. Yeah. No, your man didn't mind, hit up the road and par the hole, Second tee box, which is 15th now, which is second. And he said, right, lad, what's the problems here? There's no problems. Dinny would always hit an iron down here, so there's a drain down there, you see. So you went straight ahead. But so third hole, stood up and he said, what's the... well, Dinny goes over the corner, dog leg. So, and he's down there and everything. And so your man followed him, no problem. So the fourth hole's a par 3, no problem. But on the fifth hole, he sliced his drive in here on the right, you see. So that was okay. They walked up, they found the ball. And your man turned around and he turned to you, well, he says, what would Dinny do here? And your man says, I don't know, sir. Dinny was never here, sir.
Lovely story to finish with. Eamon, thank you very much. Those lovely memories of the great Dinny White.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.